How you guys doing? Welcome back. Today is November 30th, 2021. It's been a long end of the month, but hey, hopefully December is better for us. I guess we're going to have to see what happens, right? If you are new, welcome. We're talking about technical analysis, and this is going to be an 8-stock watch list of what we like to see, what we're trying to play, and how we can go off and find some value. Now, this episode is a bit different because I'm using a different time frame. I'll show you that in just a minute. But we're talking about supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines, volume profile, RSI, stochastic, and the vortex indicator. These 8 things make it my technical plan. Now, if you want to know more about my structure I discussed in my class, that is the things I don't change because this has been a huge sell-off. But again, I don't change risk management. I don't change fundamentals. I don't change consistency. I don't change any of these kinds of things. The course that's free is right here. 25 free lessons right there. If you want 25 extra lessons, they come free with my community. If you join on December 2nd and beyond, the whole month's gonna be free for you. Go check it out. And again, I hate plugging stuff, but again, right here for you, also free as well with the community that comes with it. So check out the Patreon right there as well. Lastly, I want to discuss real quick is that the picks from yesterday, quite a lot of these sold off right into support. Those plays are going to be right here as well. I'll get those out the way for you. And in my description box is my journal, all the plays that I colored down there. Go check that out. With that being said, 8 great picks today. I want to discuss these briefly, show you what I'm looking at, what looks great. As I said before, I have a different time frame. I'm using the 1 year, 4 hour. So it's the exact same time frame when it comes to the amount of candles and all that kind of stuff, just more data. The reason I did this, I had like 15, 20, 30 stocks today I liked. The market was selling off, and so I focused on risk versus reward. That's my foundation. And so these picks, I zoomed out. We can see clear supports, we can see clear resistances. I just wanted to get some extra eyes on this, and zooming's out where I do that. With that being said, I'll show you how to add that time frame and get into stocks. Let's do it. So this is ABC. We can see 180-day, 4-hour. Looks really good. It's coming right into support, right? It's falling right to where we want it. We have a 360-day, 4-hour, which gives us more context. So we had a really good uptrend here. Sure, it's not as aggressive as it was, but nice higher lows. How did I add this time frame? You go to Control T for time frame, go to Customize List. I added it here. You go to Add Time Frame, Intraday. You can go down to 360 days. 4 hours, it'll show that, 4 hours, hit add, apply, and you're done. Just this way I have more data on the screen. I can see what I'm working with better. It gives me more options, right? When I zoom out, I see way more. And I think the 180-day, 4-hour is still my go-to. But with a huge sell-off like this, I can find much better deals when I zoom out. That's why I did it. So ABC's first. When it comes to my charting, we have our supports are going to be white. Our resistance is orange. Our trend line, the resistance is orange. The support is going to be golden. See how it's the same exact angle? That's a nice channel up right there. We have 2 white dotted lines right here. This is where 70% of volume happens. This is from volume profile. This is the POC. It's the strongest support and resistance on this time frame, the 1 year, 1 day. It's also gravitational. As you can see, I draw it out on here. But this whole entire thing right here is called volume profile. I don't have what you would consider 45 minutes to talk about this. I have a whole video on it, and again, you can just check it out right there. Bada boom. Great tool. It adds so much to your trading. I would definitely check it out if I were you. ABC is a great uptrend. I don't love that it is, in fact, selling off so intensely, but so is the rest of the market, right? It's dropped, what, 20 or 10%? It's almost 10% super quick here. Earnings overreaction. This is a very strong support spot. Anywhere from 114, 115, down to about 112. Anywhere in here is going to be a reversal zone. We can see some nice clear higher lows forming, and I want to see what happens here. So again, I do want to see another percent or two selling off. It's a great support play. The trend line's nice. Sure, we had this gap here. We had this trend line. It's lost that. So now we're going a little bit more horizontal, going towards 114, 115. Earnings overreaction, great support. Let it come to us. No point rushing in. But right here, I love what I'm seeing. Let's check the indicators together. What's so cool about this channel is I actually don't scan with or use indicators to chart. As you'll find out through this channel, we call it MTVV, like the channel plus a V. It's momentum, trend, volume, and volatility. That's it. That's what indicators show you. They're going to show you these kinds of things. It helps you enter, it helps you exit, and it helps you plan. So the indicators are the icing. The technical analysis is the cake. A lot of beginners and a lot of folks who are bad at teaching this rely very heavily on indicators. I've not looked at these at all until I'm filming it here with you live on the Discord live, but again, live with you watching this. With that being said, if you are new to technical analysis and indicators, you're going to see what a veteran sees, and it helps you kind of show my process. Let's look at these together. So if you don't know, the 10 EMA is blue, 50 is purple, the 200 is going to be red, RSI, stochastic, I use to find divergences, and the vortex shows momentum and volume as well. We can see below the 200 we have a great value, and it comes back constantly and does just fine. The 10 crosses, and what I mean is when price crosses the 10, is pretty great. And I think most times when it crosses, your worst case is going to be a break even. Like here you went up almost 1.25, it comes back down, you would have broken even. Over here it doesn't hold, one fake out, but overall at this run up right here, it never closes below the 10 EMA line. If you get 10 crossing, ride it all the way up. The only issue is it's almost 4% away. This is a 10% sell-off. I see no point of giving up almost half our possible reward for a 10 cross. So I wouldn't want to buy off of a crossover at all on this stock. Of course, a 50 cross is fine too. But down here, buying off of value, if you do cross the 10, if you do cross the 50, that just means you did the right thing. RSI is right at 30, great. Anything below 30 is fantastic. Stochastic is below negative 55. Below 40 is a great deal, and I'm sure you can take some vertical lines here every time it bottoms out. Like if I were to go through and bottom out here with the vortex, we can see almost every single time it bottoms out like here, you would have probably made money, at least been good for a little bit. But again, down here, it's just a good value. Bulls are low, bears are high. With vortex, you can buy when green crosses or when green bottoms out. Green here is low, red is higher. We have more room to run up. I like what I see. With ABC, it's a great sell-off. I mean, I'm not rushing in. Why would you rush in during the sell-off? We have lower lows and lower highs on the macro markets. The Russell's getting destroyed. Why am I rushing in? But ABC, if tomorrow looks good, if aftermarket looks good, I would definitely give it a check and see what it's doing. Overall, I like what I see. ABC, I would definitely watch this into this week and into next week. Next is DTE, a great support play. And again, if I were to zoom out to the 10-year, we can see consistent higher lows across the board. Now, we don't have much of a trend line that's been holding. It's been breaking down today. So I'm not overly excited to rush in, as we can see in the 180-day here. I'm not excited to rush in here. But again, a very simple support play. The risk versus reward is minimal. Just right where it is now. When it comes to risk, it's only about 1% or 2%, right? But a full move to resistance is 5%. It's a 5-to-1 odds here for a channel that's very consistent. It's a very consistent channel here of going all the way up and coming all the way down. A full move to volume is a 12-to-1 odds. What more do you want? That's super great. So, I mean, this is not the best convergence play. You don't have a trend line. It actually would have been most likely broken today, I assume. Yeah, it's getting broken after hours. So, again, not rushing in. But if it does get down to about 107, 106 area, it's going to be a great, great value. Let's check the indicators together. What we can see is the 50 cross is beautiful, right? When you get above the 50, you're working. When you're below the 50, you're dying. 10 crosses are just okay to me. They're not the greatest thing ever. They're not terrible. But I think waiting for a 50 cross here is very unrealistic. It's 4% away. But if you do get that 50 cross, it does show you did the right thing. RSI is at 25. Great. Stochastic is low. Bulls low and bears are fighting here. But bulls ultimately are still lower here. DTE is a great value. It's definitely not my favorite today, given that after hours it's getting pummeled right now, which is never good. But again, if you get that support play, about 1% lower, it's almost, irrefutable. It's like 0.5% risk to 10. I mean, what else do you want? That's fantastic. So, DT, let it come to us, let it dip down to us, but overall, I love what I see. Next is FSLR. I called this last week, and I'm calling it again because I called it right here, and it made a good 10% move, and I'm being greedy. Deal with it. Fantastic trend up. Plenty of hits here. Again, we can zoom in very clearly there as well in that time frame. But a great trend up. The resistance trends matching the supporting trend. If I even break it down here, we can see clearly that these also match very well. Boop, 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 boop. This is the trends going off of. Sure, we have a small, tiny break here, but overall, old resistances becoming a support. It's pushing volume. It's trying to get higher. Higher lows across the board. I would be worried that this possibly forms a head and shoulders. Overall, though, this would be a very sloppy one. I'm not overly concerned this is going to happen. But if we do lose $100 and some change, I definitely have a tight stop loss. But again, risk versus reward here. If you want to put a stop loss, even after hours, at 100, it's about 3%. A full move is about 21. 7-to-1 odds. I mean, conservatively 4 to 5 odds here. Not terrible at all. Great run up here. I love what I see. Let's check the indicators together. Let's start with the 10 run-ups. Real clean. Real clean. 10 run-ups. Real clean. Off the bat, these are fantastic. Should we wait for a 10 crossover? I'm not against it. It's only 2% away of 20. 10% to have that, I'm not against it. That also coexists well with a 200 crossover, which also, again, is not overly important, but again, when you're above it, it's going to act as a support, so that's right there for you. And of course, a 50 is fine too. I wouldn't wait for anything besides the 10 crossover, and even then, that coexists with a 200, great, but not overly concerned about that. I think it's just a great value, but 10 cross is fine. RSI 41, it's okay. Your best purchases come probably closer to 30, but again, if it shows some life, I'll give that up for some life here. It looks pretty good nonetheless. Stochastic, no true divergences, but negative 40 is good. Bulls and bears are fighting. We are, in fact, consolidating. We're going sideways. If you were to find like this candle and come over, it's been 14 days. It's moved only 1.9%. We're consolidating. The vortex going sideways together. Kind of doing this shows that as well. FSLR, it's a great solar company, right where you want it. Energy gets some life. This should also get some life. It's right where you want it. Low risk, high reward. It's in an uptrend, which I like a lot. FSLR, I'd watch this, dude. Next is JBL. J-Bull Inc. Jabil. I don't know. Great uptrend once again. And again, we don't really have a consistent trend line as of recently we do, but historically we don't. This is a great supporting spot though. This is where all the volume is. Look at it. Bounces here constantly. Boop, 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 boop. Right in this area. I just split the difference and put it in the middle. Sure, I think 58.13, 58.10 is a great support, but I want to be realistic. It may come down just a bit more. Great higher lows. The resistances match this trend as well. It's bouncing really well. If we do lose this area, guess what? 56 and some change, 55 and some change is a super strong support. So tomorrow, just keep selling off in the market. Get a 5% discount down here. Your risk here is like 1, 2%, and a full move is closer to 15. But right here, again, we're risking 1 or 2% to make about 10 or 11. I love what I see overall. Let's check the indicators for any kind of crossovers possibly. It is uptrending, so I'll put some emphasis into this. Here's a great lesson for you. What is the 200 EMA line doing since this pattern started? Look at that. It's going up. So what's that mean? The 200 EMA to me is how I find trend. Doi. What's great about this is we have a horizontal support and a trend line support. If the 200 EMA line was going sideways, kind of like how the 10 or the 50 is, and again, it's not perfect, but stick with me. If the 50 was going more like this, at this angle, if the 200 was doing kind of like this angle, more horizontal, I'd put more emphasis into that support play that's right below it. But because the 200 is going up, the angle is actually like this, it's going up like this, I'm going to put my support emphasis into that trend line. So I'm putting more emphasis into the trend line because the EMA line says the 200 EMA line is going up, so the trend line is what I'm emphasizing. If the 200 was going sideways, I put emphasis into the support play. They're here together, but again, this shows us that the reversal zone should be closer to 58 than 57. Big brain. 10 crossover is pretty good. Not the greatest thing to ever exist in this time frame. The 50 is really good. I wouldn't wait for either. We have a good value. The value that I see is exemplified by RSI 30. No true divergence, but again, negative 20 is fine. Bulls are low, bears are high. I love what I see. I mean, you could wait for a 200 cross, and once you get that, you're golden because that 200 is a beautiful support. But this trend has been super wicked, been super reliable. I like what I see. Sure, I mean, I wouldn't buy in if the market continues to sell off. Why would you rush into a lower low, lower high situation? But if it does turn around tomorrow, make some supports, JBL, makes a lot of sense. I would definitely watch this. Next is PCH. Another great uptrending stock here. Plenty of hits. It has a history of making great uptrends too. It has a beautiful history of making channel ups and then breaking out. And once again, a beautiful channel up. Sure, it's not perfect, but on this time frame, you gotta kind of take what you get. And we have a great support. The POC is here, and after hours, it's already showing life up 3%. Now 1.85. It's coming back down to a good value. And let's check. The reversals do take some time, and a lot of times they're very quick. So I'm not overly excited to rush in here. If we do get one more green that kind of shows some life and breaks the resistance, sure, momentum buying makes sense. But hopefully it pulls back down to like 53 and some change. We can buy in down there. But it's an obvious uptrend, obvious support area with the POC here. I just love what I'm seeing with this great trend. And it has a history of making beautiful, beautiful trends before breaking out. I love that. Let's check the indicators together. Above the 200, you're eating. You're snacking. You can hold long term. Below it, it's a resistance. And right here, that's where we're pressuring after hours. This is where you can buy off momentum. What I mean is that you could definitely buy into value, which I like to I'm a proponent for, at like 53.50. $53 in my opinion. If you do cross the 200 EMA line, now you can buy off of momentum and use that 200 as a stop loss area. So tomorrow, if you really like this play, maybe make it a little bit bigger, you can wait for us to cross over the 200 and hold, and then use this area, the 54 to 54.15, as a stop loss area. Or if it drops down farther, you can buy into this area. Both are fine. 200 cross is great, or value. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, it's low. Bulls are low. Bears are high. It's a great value purchase. So far of all the stocks, PCH is probably my favorite so far, given the fact that 200 is so close. But then also what's great is a massive amount of support. I love what I see. I would definitely watch this at PCH. I love it. It looks really good. Next is RPT, a great looking REIT stock that's usually based off of growth, but as of recently started paying its dividend out pretty consistently. Great earnings, great dividend. It looks pretty good. Fantastic uptrend. It bounces plenty, and this is a great support spot that's bouncing at. Sure, let's say tomorrow's real red and the market sells off. Well, look, you got a beautiful support around 1190 to come down to and wait for. But right here, great higher lows. I'm sure this trend is somewhat similar. I don't know if it would be the most similar, but we can see really good looking channel up here, right? The last two breakouts. Looks pretty good here. Super great value. Has some gaps it needs to fill. Went up, came down. What's the risk here? 1%? And what's a full move to a resistance? 3 to 1. A good move. 5 to 1. A great move. 9 to 1. Higher highs is like 20 to 1. RPT, low risk, massive reward. If you do hit that out of the park, great dividends and earnings could be coming your way as well. Let's check the indicators together. We can zoom in and see the 200 crossover works great. You break below 200, get over that, you're good. 10 is adequate. I'm not putting too much weight into it. The 50 is really good, as we can see. But again, this far down, I'm waiting for a 10 cross? No. Waiting for a 50 cross? No. If I do get that 200 cross, though, I'll know I have now a longer term hold, but not putting much weight into it, not much emphasis at all. It's just saying, hey, if I do get it, I made the right choice. The RSI has not been oversold under 30 in a long period of time. Last time it did, it made a nice move up. That's great. RSI is low. Stochastic is low. Bulls, as we can see, are low. Bears are high. Great REIT stock. RPT, if it continues doing this, you can have a great long-term hold. Really easy swing. You break above that 200 EMA line. What more do you want? Off to the races. Make some extra money with those dividends and earnings. Overall, fantastic stock. RPT, I definitely watch listed. I've called SCOR before. SCOR, and we can see just an absolute rocket of a trend line. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, and again 4. That's important because any one of you morons, any one of me morons, can draw a trend line from point A to point B. This is A, B, C, D, and beyond. That's much more consistent. I'd love to see that. SCOR has great trend up, obvious support spot right here, and as of recently, lower highs, making a nice consolidation. I can't point to history being perfect, but even off just gash, we're looking at this. This was a triangle in the same exact spot. What did it do? You bought it at value, would have had a nice 48% move. And right here, another great support based off convergence with a trend line and a support line. If it makes a full move, it's 11%, and right about here, we're risking about 2. Love to see it. What a great triangle. Let's check the indicators together. The EMA lines are directly in the middle of the triangle. 250 right in the middle, showing more consolidation. And as we can see, the 200 is doing what here? If we were to go back from the pattern start and go sideways, it's only moved 12% in almost 3/4 of a year. It's going sideways. So I'm going to put a lot of emphasis into the support play. Once it bounces there, we're good to go. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, it's low. We can even see on the vortex. this line that I drew is also lining up perfectly for this kind of trend up. SCOR is almost perfect. I don't love that it's a penny stock. I don't love that the earnings take money away. Besides that, it's an absolute rocket. I love what I see. I definitely watched this at SCOR into this week. Looks fantastic. Last but not least is WHD Cactus Inc. The hell, why is it WHD? That makes no sense. I don't know what they're doing. It's a fantastic trend lineup, just like SCOR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, like Dave Chappelle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks pretty good right here. Excellent support spot. It's held before. Excellent resistance. Excellent trend line that's been holding. Even here, we're risking 6%. At full move is about 33%, 5-to-1 odds. Looking great here. Even a bit lower, it makes it even better. Fantastic trend line. Earnings, overreaction. Dividend selling off once again. And down here looks really good. Again, dividend sold off. Dividend sells off. Dividend sells off. Right where you want it. Super consistent, low risk. Fantastic looking play. Let's check the indicators. 10 cross is fine. It's fine. You know, it looks pretty good. I can zoom over. It's fine. It's really good. But I mean, a 50 cross is much better, and a 200 is even better. Would I wait for any of them? Yeah, sure, 10 cross is fine here, but besides that, don't really care about EMA lines at all. RSI, it's low. Stochastic, obvious divergence. Lower lows, as we can see. Higher low, as we can see. That's definitely a bullish divergence. It's small, but it's there. And bulls are low, bears are high, but bulls are now showing life. We get that crossover like right here. Rocket. WHD. Everything you ever want in a stock. It looks fantastic. Great trend, great support. Everything you want, tightly speaking, it's all right there. Besides the fact it's WHD for a company called Cactus Inc., besides that, it looks pretty good. And there you guys have it. I appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of your guys' day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. It means the world that you're here. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.